We're being joined by MCC government professor Casey Hubble. Casey, great to see you. Thanks for coming in today.
You're welcome.
We're hearing things like calm and steady hand, great man. The president also calling him today a true gentleman. How do you think the nation will most remember former President Gerald Ford?
Well, I hope it's in a more honest perspective. When we think about Gerald Ford, we think about a distinguished gentleman. But I think, unfortunately, sometimes we think that he was maybe a little bit light intellectually, and that's not true. He graduated in the top third of his class at Yale. We think about maybe a political lightweight, which he wasn't. He fought off a tough challenge of Ronald Reagan's for the primary, and also was able to really steady the course of the country when he became president. Sometimes Ford is thought of as being a little bit soft in foreign policy, which really he was not either. He was very tough. He responded very tough to the Mayaguez incident where the Cambodian Khmer Rouge hijacked or took an American ship on the high seas. He bombed Cambodia and used the Marines to retrieve the ship. He was a very tough, honest, decent president.
Casey, we have a clip of Ford's inaugural address that back in August of 1974, we ran it at the beginning of the show. I want to take a listen to it for just a moment.
My fellow Americans, our long national nightmare is over.
We wanted to play this because we want to talk about his post-Watergate leadership, which is, of course, what a lot of people are talking about today. How well do you think, Casey, that he stepped in and really helped heal a nation in the middle of this political turmoil?
He was a trustee of the public faith. He was not afraid to make tough decisions or unpopular decisions. Pardoning Richard Nixon, he was well aware, could cost him points in what he knew at that time was going to be a tough election battle coming up. He was just not afraid to do things that might be unpopular, and I think that speech epitomizes that.
Casey, do you think that pardoning Richard Nixon was what sealed his fate when it came to being defeated by Jimmy Carter?
Not necessarily. There were other factors involved in that defeat, and one of those was a very tough economy. Ford wanted to cut taxes to stimulate the economy, and that always takes a while for that to go into effect, and we really didn't see the benefit of that until well into the Carter presidency. So I think there were a lot of other things, Arab oil embargo, things like that damaged our economy, our foreign policy standing, things like that, a real tarnishing of American pride as a result of Vietnam and other factors that all went into that. It was going to be very tough for him to be elected.
Certainly being remembered as a man who did go through quite a tumultuous time and coming out as what most people today are calling a great man and a great president. Thank you so much, Casey, for your time. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome, Julie.
And for much more information on